Hey guys, let's talk about the amazing, fantastic Spyderco Magnitude pocket knife. I don't think I've ever used those descriptors in a previous video. Um, Probably should have. And I'm not going to say this is, I don't know, my fanciest knife or the best flipper I have or anything like that, but it sure is a fantastic knife. This is a model that's been retired for a few years now. You can still find it on the secondary market for, I got this one for 300 bucks. I've seen them for 350, but yeah, around 300 bucks is typically what you'll expect to pay for one of these. And that's pretty much new in box. This one is pretty much that, but yeah, and I don't know, this is just a fantastic knife. I'm gonna structure this like a normal, fairly normal review. I don't have a size comparison knife. However, this is honestly pretty standard. The biggest thing about this one is how thick it is, and you can see there just without comparison how thick it is. It's a very large, I need to get a size comparison knife. I need to get my ZT out of my case. I'll do that one of these days. But it's a very thick knife. Other than that though, it's pretty standard. Lengthwise, I think you're looking at around 8 inches or so. Blade length around 3.5. Blade stock thickness, I don't know. It's pretty thick. Maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. Just some other basic specs. It does run on bearings. It's a flipper, S30V steel. Has carbon fiber scales, as you can see here. Just beautiful carbon fiber work there. It has G10 inserts here around the pivot. You can see it's a brown G10, and then it has a brown G10 backspacer that's also machined. Titanium liners. So construction wise, this is actually pretty similar to the Mamba. The design itself isn't quite as polarizing, but in terms of materials and construction, and honestly the feel of the knife, it's pretty similar to the Mamba, which is another knife I need to do a review on. So yeah, let's talk about some of the specifics of this guy. So this is a liner lock, and I believe it's a titanium liner lock. I'm not sure if the lock face is carbonized or not, which is pretty nice. I mean, this is a fine lock. Locks up nice and tight, nice and thick liner there, holding the blade open. No issues with that. Access to the lock bar there is pretty good. You can see it has some machining work there so that you can more easily get your thumb into the cutout to disengage the lock. So yeah, lockup is really solid, and then just quality in general with this knife is extremely good. As I kind of pointed out before, the machining on the scales is really nice. You can see here, and then from the side, the top, they're actually somewhat rounded, and they're just really well done. This G10 insert here is really nice and flush with the carbon fiber. In fact, if it didn't have a different visual appearance, you wouldn't hardly even know that it's a different material. It's actually pretty amazing. Machine work on the backspacer is nice and even. Really well done there. These titanium liners meet up with the carbon fiber. Nice and flush. Yeah, the flipping action's very smooth, and then you can probably tell the close is also very smooth. So yeah, the quality overall on this knife is really excellent. This was made in Spyderco's Taichung plant, so to be honest, I'm not really surprised that the quality is as high as it is. Their Taichung plant pretty consistently produces really excellent knives. I'd say, in my estimation, the biggest complaint I've heard about the knives coming from that facility has to do with the flippers, which this is a flipper. This one happens to be really, really good. The Mamba is also good, but some of their other flippers, like trying to think, I think the Advocate was one of them. The Domino, I know, can be a little inconsistent. A lot of times the detents are too soft. They're so that when you try to flip it, especially doing like a light switch motion where you're pulling back on the flipper tab, they won't open reliably. Sliver axe, that was the other one I was trying to think of. I think it's a Taichung knife, and the flipping action on that knife is not good. But this one is really good. So yeah, it's, Taichung does great work. I made a video about that, and this is really no exception. In terms of cutting edge, so this is not a full flat ground blade as most Spydercos are, and that has to do with the designer. So it's a Peter Carey design, and yeah, it's actually kind of a rarity to not have a Spyderco that has a full flat grind. This one actually has a couple of pretty wide flats at the top of the blade, and then I think this is a hollow ground area here. Then of course it has the actual cutting edge toward the bottom there. I don't know what the angle is. I'm guessing probably 17 degrees. That's what a lot of Spydercos are. But honestly, I haven't really cut anything with this knife, but I would say it would be fine. The design of the blade, like how it's kind of upswept, I think would be very conducive to, I don't know, food prep, although the blade stock's a little bit thick, opening packages, just any general cutting tasks. So while I haven't used this, and I probably won't because it's kind of a collector's piece now, I would expect it to be a pretty decent cutter, aside from the blade stock thickness. So yeah, pocket clip. This pocket clip is specific to this model. I like the way it looks with the model, like the aesthetics of it. I think it is titanium because of course it has the 3 holes there just for some additional design, just to make it a little more interesting or appealing to the eye. In terms of carryability, the pocket clip, while it looks pretty good, it's not great in terms of carry. You have a decent shape there to support putting the knife in your pocket and pulling it out. However, the amount of knife that sticks out about that much out of the top of your pocket when it's in there is a little excessive for my taste. So yeah, not a huge fan of that, but I like the way it looks aesthetically with the knife, and I think it was a good choice. And I don't think you can get a deep carry clip for this knife. So if you want to buy one of these and actually carry and use it, you're going to be pretty much stuck with this guy, which isn't all bad. So one of the things that the website touts is multiple opening methods. You have the flipper here, which you've seen, and then you can also use the Spidey hole, which is nice. And it's very smooth opening it that way. I like that about this knife as opposed to like the Southern flipper that Spyderco made, where the opening hole on that thing is essentially useless. Like, it's too small, the handles are too thick, you can't get your thumb into the hole to even open it that way. This one though, it's large enough where you can do that. You can Spidey flick it like I just did, or you can just open it from the top side like you would any other Spyderco. Yeah, so the quality is really excellent on this. The blade shape is pretty good. The carryability is not bad. Regarding that, I do want to talk about the size. I should buy a scale for this channel, but in terms of the weight, the carbon fiber definitely helps along with the titanium liners. I would still say this thing weighs around 6 ounces though. It's not super light, and that's, you know, considering how thick it is, that's not too bad, but it's still a thick knife. And in addition to the weight, it also takes up a lot of room in your pocket. So you can see here the handle's 4 inches plus long. And then, like I said, it's pretty thick. Overall, it's probably, I don't know, half an inch or more thick. So yeah, when you're carrying this, you're definitely gonna feel it. Yeah, so I guess those are just kind of my general thoughts. When I make these types of videos, I think back to some of my earlier ones and just some of the different categories I talked about. Oh, let's talk about the steel. S30V, it's a fine steel, easy to sharpen, which is great. Holds an edge for a decent amount of time. I don't know if it's considered a super steel, but it's still a very adequate, honestly, higher tier steel for pocket knives. You know, everybody's looking at the 20 CVs and the 204Ps and the M390s, a lot of M390 these days. But S30V is still a really good steel. Rust resistant. I mean, it is a stainless steel. And yeah, so no complaints about the steel at all. And yeah, I think that's about it. I mean, I can talk about the packaging a little bit. It came in the normal Spyderco box, which, just as a little bit of an aside, I think that was kind of a downer for this knife. I mean, it's an excellent piece. You have the carbon fiber handle with the titanium liners. It's a knife by an outside designer. I think it should have come in a pouch, but you know, it didn't, and that's just the way things are. So would I recommend getting this one, and why would someone buy this? Well, yeah, if you're a Spyderco collector, or if you like knives that are unique, that have a nice flipping action, yeah, I would definitely recommend getting this. If you don't like larger knives that are on the heavier side or that take up a decent amount of pocket real estate, I would not recommend this knife. I got it because I love Spyderco's, and this has always been one of my favorite designs from them, or I guess Peter Carey. I love the stuff that comes out of their Taichung facility. I think it's really great. And yeah, so for me, it was a no-brainer. But yeah, it just depends on your tastes and stuff like that. So, and then who would buy one of these? So again, like, or why would you buy one of these? Somebody that's a collector, obviously. These are still pretty easy to find. They're not like the Mamba or even the Thai stick now, which are pretty difficult. So, you know, why would you get one? Maybe you just want something that's a little higher end to use and carry. It's not going to let you down at all. I mean, it'll cut well, it'll carry you just fine, and yeah, it'll show off and have a little flare at the same time. I mean, it's pretty cool how it has the brown G10 combined with the carbon fiber. It's a unique look, the brown and the titanium and the carbon fiber. I don't think I've ever seen that exact combination before. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's a little more of a, I don't know, off the cuff review. As I said before, I'm not really doing the numerical reviews anymore, where I would go through a scale and like rank everything. It just got to be a little bit too cumbersome. The videos were too long, although this one was 14 minutes. I think people are just kind of looking for a general overview, just some specs, stuff like that. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't. There will be plenty of other videos like this coming, and have a good rest of the week. We'll see ya.